I'm going to be quite honest. This video is just doing a little preemptive dancing on the soon-to-be digital grave of free thought blogs. That rabid den of batshit crazy feminists who have plagued this community and been at the core of almost every secular and atheist drama and division for the past 3 years. Rebecca Watson and Free Thought Blogs were both responsible for kicking all of this off in making Elevatorgate a big deal. And this escalated to almost surreal proportions with the likes of this straw man, where it is stated as fact that there is a real debate in the secular community. Really, a debate over whether women are eye candy and fuck toys for the privileged white men, or if they are just equal colleagues. Those exact words.
Right now, for instance, the internet community of atheists is racked with these paroxysms of argument over, of all things, the status of women. We're trying to decide whether women are eye candy and fuck toys for the privileged white men, or whether we're colleagues together in this movement. And I would have said some time ago, oh, that's easy, that's settled. We know what the answer is there, right? They're equal partners in this effort. But surprisingly, that debate is going on the internet right now.
Then, of course, came Atheism Plus, that famously claimed to not be divisive.
It doesn't make me divisive either.
While simultaneously had its self-proclaimed intellectual artillery, claiming that you're either with us or against us. So it's clear how many of us there are against them, and this is very much a us versus them situation, the compassionate versus the vile. And that not joining Atheism Plus was a vote for douchery. And most recently, P.Z. Myers has turned his blog into genuine bottom-feeding tabloid trash by publishing third-hand anonymous accusations of rape against Michael Shermer, for which there is no possible way for Shermer to defend himself, save, of course, by a lawsuit. Yeah, damn straight, I have no problem whatsoever in doing a little preemptive dancing on the soon-to-be digital grave of these toxic shit stirrers. But before I get to that, now I'm going to be completely upfront here that I've had previous dealings with both P.Z. Myers and Free Thought Blogs. Indeed, a ways back I even naively joined the network, albeit only for a short while, and when I did, they didn't realise that they'd signed me up to this back channel that they had, and they were sending around all of these messages saying that I was a racist, a misogynist, an Islamophobe, all based on nothing but rumours. Now, to an extent, I could see the quality of people I was dealing with, and so this was my first message to them on their back channel. So, in summary, I've not even made my first post yet, and now, since evidently opinions and rumours have become fact, I'm a racist, sexist, Islamophobic misogynist who apologised for The Amazing Atheist and said some blatantly sexist bullshit to minimise Lacey. Kinda makes me wonder why I was asked to join at all in the first place. And with respect, if this is par for the course of Free Thought Blogs, so long and thanks for all the fish. And when I called them on it, asking merely for where I had said these things for which I was accused, what came forward was a load of sheepish apologies, including from such great minds as no less than the self-proclaimed intellectual artillery of Atheism Plus, Richard Carrier, who wanted to apologise to me personally, because his intentional tour de force mind couldn't tell the difference between something I said and something that someone else said. Richard Carrier then went on to write an over 9,000 word article on why he thinks I'm a sociopath. However, on Free Thought Blogs I then proceeded to honestly speak my mind on issues I thought they were wrong on. My free thought, it turned out, questioned their feminist dogma, and so I was unceremoniously kicked off Free Thought Blogs. PC summed it up like this: "We refuse to support Thunderfoot's dumbass crusade against feminism on our blog network." PC later continues with this: "I've addressed the complaints of his ignorant and indignant followers, so I'm putting it to rest. I've blocked him on Twitter. I'm not reading his blog or watching his videos. So if you want to complain further, do your posturing to Thunderfoot, 'cause I don't give a damn." That's really impressive, seeing as by my count, PZ has shown how much he wants to put this to rest by writing no less than 10 complaining blogs about Thunderfoot. A lot of them posturing and indignant responses to my videos, which he said he would never watch. That's a pretty impressive level of not giving a damn. Truth is, of course, his blog is dying, for reasons that should be obvious by now. And he's just looking to fling some dung at people in the hope of gaining some hits. Looking back, it was always his formula to fling dung at people while assuring everyone else of his natural superiority to all of this. And all the time he was doing it to creationists, few cared. Then he went on to use exactly the same tactics on his former allies. And people started seeing through the facade of this really small and mean-spirited man. But while him flapping his arms with rage about how he won't respond to me and then putting up post after post after post about me and my videos, blasting me with such devastatingly sophisticated rhetorical retorts as Blunderthud and Thunderdud and Flubberfoot and Dunderfoot.
Truly, you have a dizzying intellect.
While all of that is blowing up the irony meter style amusing, it's not actually what I want to focus on here. PZ recently had this post up how he was outraged, I tell you, that Scientific American was censoring people's opinions. Yeah, the bunch of people who openly mock the idea of free speech with their free speech meme, which they use to taunt people who actually do support free speech. That is, these people who are happy to ban people with conflicting opinions from the discussion have apparently decided that when someone else does what they brazenly do with petty and draconian intent, it's outrageous. Or maybe we should take it straight from the mouth of PZ Myers himself.
So we were lazy in vetting him for admission and didn't look all that closely at whether his views were compatible with our goals. They are not, as we discovered too late.
We refuse to support Thunderfoot's dumbass crusade against feminism on our blog network. But that wouldn't be policing blog writers now, would it, PC? But it's even worse than that, you see, because taking down articles that are not related to science on a science blog, many might see as having a point. However, kicking someone off free thought blogs because of their free thought, many would see as funny, for exactly the same reasons that it's funny when Conservapedia calls itself the trustworthy encyclopedia, or when Fox News calls itself fair and balanced. And just in case that wasn't weapons-grade hypocrisy enough, let's take a look at his second point. Second, they have restricted what bloggers can write. Refuse to support Thunderfoot's dumbass crusade against feminism. They are censoring them when they criticize organizations they are partnered with. Yes, that's a terrible conflict of interests, PZ. I'm sure free thought blogs would never engage in such underhanded, money-grubbing and truly despicable behavior. Nah. You see, this is the way that it went down. While I was on free thought blogs, I got admonished for, yes, you guessed it, criticizing an advertiser. One surly Amy, as it turns out, the woman who makes those little ceramic pendants that have essentially become the uniform for the Atheism Plus cult. She's also the one who wanted those simple code of conduct rules at conferences like no fake jewelry and no intentionally offensive language.
We're not asking for anything crazy, just basic rules so that we can say, the sort of thing like making fake jewelry and intentionally offending people is not okay.
And was the feminist who was so emotionally damaged by this t-shirt that she was reduced to tears and had to leave the conference and go home early. A quick note on what it was that I actually said to offend her. I wrote a post that included this image. And Amy Roth apparently was going to sue me for $100,000, no joke, for using this image. Just this image. Yes, those are her exact words. I have filed a claim with the US Copyright Office. I will have the official copyright certificate number for that particular image within 24 hours. If Thunderfoot decides to use that image in a derogatory way from this moment on, I will be eligible to sue him for $100,000 in damages. Yes, that's right, folks. Someone else who doesn't understand that copyright doesn't deal with whether something is used in a derogatory way. It only deals with the protection of intellectual property. So as I was saying, I will be eligible to sue him for $100,000 in damages. Potentially more since it's a self-portrait. No joke. At the time, I really couldn't be bothered to fight another Venom Fang X type battle, as they really do get tiresome after a while, so I just took the image down and replaced it with this one. And what did Ed Brayton, the owner of Free Thought Blogs, think about this? Amy Roth is not only an ally and a friend of nearly everyone here, she is also an advertiser. Being a dick to her for no reason whatsoever is likely to cost us money. You need to stop being a dick. If you think that's an unfair request, the door is over to the left. Don't let it hit you in the arse. Ed. And remind me again, what was PZ outraged at Scientific American about? Oh yeah, that's right. Censoring people for criticizing sponsors. PZ, irony meter. You've just broken mine. Incidentally, you may be happy to note that Ed Brayton, after my departure from Free Thought Blogs, where he vowed to drive me out of the community and have me forever be a pariah, we briefly met up in the YouTube comments section to reminisce about old times. And it went a little something like this. Lol, Ed, your mighty attempts to drive me out of the community as a pariah, which wouldn't by FTB standards count as harassment, if FTB is doing it of course, resulted in me losing about 300 subscribers. Almost every blogger on Free Thought Blogs tried their hardest in one coordinated blow to poison the well against me, and only 300 out of about 150,000 people unsubscribed. That's only about 30 people for every person who wrote a blog. Face it, Ed, Free Thought Blogs is a sinking ship. Oh, and pro tip, Ed, free speech is only a bad thing if you're a jerk. To which he responded, "Fuck you, Thunderfoot! Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! That's the only response you will ever deserve from me, you unethical asshole! And it's all you will ever get." I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I think I might have hit a nerve there. And on the subject of Free Thought Blogs being a sinking ship, and for those who really won't be sorry to see it go, I present this. So in the summer of 2012, according to Ed Brayton, Free Thought Blogs was averaging about 200,000 page views per day. And now, some 18 months later, Free Thought Blogs page views are down to somewhere around 60 to 30,000 per day. That means that they've lost somewhere between 2/3 and 6/7 of their traffic. Oh, I wonder what caused that. This point can be further brought home when Free Thought Blogs decided that we're going to have an online conference, a conference unique in that it would have more speakers than attendees. And yes, apparently Free Thought Blogs have worked out that if you have a Google Hangouts online, people can watch it whenever they want. That's right, you're not having a Google Hangout online. It's a time-shifted international symposium.
The Hangouts are done, and they should be viewable directly from the event page once they're finished processing as well. So you can time shift the entire conference if you need to.
One of the nice things about this flexible online format is, yeah, it's going to be all over the place anytime you want to watch it, and it's going to be available as forever as YouTube is.
An outstanding idea. Why didn't anyone think of it before? That if you have a video and put it online, people can watch it later. Oh yeah, that's right. Everyone worked that out years ago. You muppets. Though, of course, it goes without saying that in this conference, run by FTB, in true Free Thought Blog style, you mere lesser underlings won't be allowed to comment because it would be irresponsible to let you express an opinion that they didn't approve of.
And I have full moderation on my blog, so that when they send me a comment on my blog, it does not get seen by anyone And so therefore I can delete it immediately and they've wasted their time.
I made YouTubers very upset a while back because I made a decision to turn off comments on all my YouTube videos.
Right. The way you behave, the things you denounce, the things you speak out about, communicate to the wider public, not just the atheist community, what atheists are all about.
The best you can do is, if you're running a forum, is to institute very strict moderation, who gets in, who gets to stay.
Well, especially seeing as you cesspool on YouTube are pathological. Well, at least according to Myers anyway.
The comments at YouTube are a cesspit. They really are.
And of course, it would be irresponsible to let you vote to say whether you like it or not. And after all this chastising the audience for being inferior and robbing them of any meaningful method of feedback, they wonder why they end up speaking to empty rooms. Yeah, that's Jen McCreight there, the founder of Atheism Plus, speaking to an all but empty auditorium. However, this conference did mean that I could see how many views this conference of the entire of Free Thought Blogs would bring in. And the answer is about 20,000. 20,000 for a one-off event. That's not bad, eh? Well, actually, I just kind of giggled at that because that's comparable to the daily traffic of just the Thunderfoot channel. And I don't want to sound too much like a jerk about this, but to be honest, I think a lot of the traffic that comes to this channel is mostly driven by the fact that I put a lot of work into these videos. A lot of work, combined with the fact that people are allowed to say whatever they want and rate the video as they see fit. Meanwhile, I just don't see a bunch of preachy, opinionated windbags in Google Hangouts waxing on about their moral superiority to these mere regular atheists as having much appeal. Indeed, let's be real, this is more the sort of thing that's going to be used as an instrument of torture in Gitmo than something that sane and rational people are going to watch of their own volition. Yep, Free Thought Blogs is a sinking ship. And from where I sit, it really can't go down fast enough so we can get rid of all of this drama and divisions and get back to something sensible. And I only hope that when it goes down, it takes a load of these batshit crazy feminists with them. Those with the tinfoil hats of the Atheism Plus cultists with their uniform of those little ceramic pendants made by the woman whose aspirations at litigation makes Scientology look like a bunch of laid-back, easygoing hippies. Because let's face it, the foundation of this house is big hitters, like the Horsemen, not petty whiners like these jokers.